Welcome back to another lap of Falcon's followers. And I'm sorry it took so long because the internet was fucking shit. And I couldn't get the cutscenes right. Tried downloading them, but they were pretty choppy. Anyway, last time, Tinsel and the Duelists have managed to escape from lightning after Black Shadow and Blood Falcon activated a speed-sensitive bomb on top of the Blue Falcon, in which Joey and his Red Eyes attempted to dismantle it. Fortunately, they were successful, especially from a very conveniently placed crane. So, Falcon's life was spared, and Tinsel actually reunited with him. He was actually appreciative with the hero's attempts on saving him. And he also explained about Black Shadow and Blood Falcon, as well as the races that Tinsel missed. And also, the Grand Prix in Mute City has just started, without Tinsel's preparation and knowledge. So Falcon just gave her a crash course on the advanced settings of her Silver Comet. So without further delay, let's get on with the show, and let's hope there won't be any more fuck-ups. Alright, Lap 7. Another unbearable killjoy coming up. I've always hated Lap 7 in story mode, and it was one of those chapters I never wanted to go back to. I can never stop thinking about that rant from Efren225 and how much he hated it on very hard mode. I understood Blood Falcon and Black Shadow are supposed to be the main enemies, but their AI was just insane. I was just lucky to beat this one, and this was even before I found out about snaking. Not to mention I happened to be racing against the entire cast of characters of the original 30. Let's just get the damn misery over with. Yeah, definitely. The duelists were preparing for the inevitable as they were shuffling their decks, putting their best monsters and trap cards at the very top. Yami was on standby inside the Millennium Puzzle, and Falcon was giving Tinsel some last-minute advice on how to handle her comet, particularly how to knock her opponents using the swift-sided spin attacks. This was actually a first for her, as she'd never seen those techniques 13 years ago. He also taught her how to use snaking, a secret move that allowed the machine to gain speed by rapidly sweeping from side to side using the drift buttons, and finally how to adjust her settings from a gradual increase in velocity to making it have maximum acceleration. Although her settings had to be at their fullest if she wants to perform snaking, so she did. Before they knew it, it was time for the pilots to get into their machines. Falcon and Tinsel wished each other luck and victory. Then Mr. Zero pointed out the competitors. Hopefully the internet won't be so fucked up this time. So, here goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the contestants. The high-flying medico, Dr. Stewart. The hitman who flies at the speed of sound, Hiko. The Japanese warrior, Samurai Goro. The cyborg returns, Mighty Gazelle. The Emperor of Brutality, Black Shadow. And the bounty hunter, Captain Falcon!
Well, still alive it seems, but I won't miss this chance to make mincemeat of you.
Black Shadow, I'll show you. You'll never beat me.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
Believe it or not, the cutscene was kinda accurate, because Black Shadow would actually be right behind you when you start that race. Although, the announcer never mentioned Tinsel. The newbie back with a vengeance! Tinsel Steelers! She raised her arms in triumph as the announcer introduced her. There was very little greeting, and she wondered that her reputation was really that minute. Finally, much to the evil being's dismay, there was Captain Falcon. The rockets ignited, and according to the roster, there was also the Cape Crusader, Super Arrow, his wife Mrs. Arrow, the renowned animal hunter Beast Man, the muscular man who didn't explode by the Karibo, Michael Chain, the pilot in the both F-Zero as well as fighter jets, James McLeod, John Tanaka, fresh from his injuries, a pink giant known as Drac, his delivery partner Roger Buster, Sterling Levon, aka the Skull, and the black songstress Kate Allen. There too was the space pirate Antonio Guster, the mechanical whiz Dr. Clash, the nonagenarian Silver Nielsen, the orphan and anthropomorphic from planet Zao, Leon, the poverty-stricken cephalopod Octoman, the crazy monkey Billy, the punk rocker Jack Levin, the primate from Giant Baba, the Huck Miner duo Gomar and Shio, Jody Summer who somehow got the white cat back from the doomed power plant, the man-eating Tyrannosaurus Biorex, the android Mr. EAD, and of course, Blood Falcon. Tinsel and Falcon both knew this was going to be a hefty challenge. Black Shadow was still as pompous as ever. 3, 2, 1, go! He ascended as soon as the drivers raced out of the stadium and met perpetual danger. On the first stretch there was a pit of lava to the right side of the course. Then after a left curve there was some ice to the left and no guardrails next to it. Tinsel and Falcon had to be extra wary to prevent from falling off. Then there was a jump and more pits of lava met the racers. They had to be careful as the hot oozing lava was able to drain the energy meters rapidly. They could also feel the heat beneath them as their machines made contact. After a left curve, the road narrowed, then widened for the next left turn. It was a tight squeeze again, and this time there was no guardrails. In addition, there was also a dash plate. At a slight right-hand curve, there was a risky speed boost followed by even more lava. Tinsel and Falcon grew a bit agitated, thinking the entire course had been crapped on by some inept sleeping volcano god. Thankfully, a massive rainbow pit area met the weary sportsmen. And finally, there were a couple lava pools at the sides and landmines before the finish line. Some gave them an increase in speed when hit directly. Regardless, some damage was done. By the second lap, everyone's boosters were activated, and the real chaos began. The Blue Falcon showed its opponents its moves as he constantly rammed into its rivals, using its attacks. The Comet saw the mayhem, and Tinsel decided to mimic its skills. With their combined efforts, they were able to wipe out nearly half of their victims. The worst part was that somehow during the melee, the Hellhawk and the Black Bull took the lead, and snaking was always risky for her, especially when there were so many obstacles in her way, or if there was a lack of guardrails. Meanwhile, the Duelists were cheering them on. "Come on, Tinsel, you can do it! Give them everything you got, Falcon!" Little did the spectators and the racers know was that the Cursive Dragon and Baby Dragon were soaring above the course, waiting to seize the big bads if another accident should occur. While the Falcon and the Comet were gaining up, the Bull slammed into the Bounty Hunter, forcing it to grind against a guardrail. The Hellhawk saw Tinsel and he began to wreak havoc. This wasn't good considering she had a weak body, and the clone was a level higher than hers. Though their speed seemed to be the same, making them the perfect rivals for this deadly match. The machines kept on struggling for survival, and they were fortunate the pit area saved them, yet the war was still raging even during the final lap. The Hellhawk made another ditch effort and laid a direct assault on the Comet, causing Tinsel to lose top speed as she was in the danger zone. Using no relent, Blood Falcon attempted to knock her into any of the hazards. Finally, she was trapped against a wall while her energy was draining at a rapid pace. Sparks and smoke were flying from her machine. There was a sharp curve ahead. She slammed on the brakes before the clone made a side attack. It did give him a lead, but the sudden escape was nearly too much for him. The Hellhawk went out of control as it lost friction, due to its grip which was at the failing level. Tinsel was able to pass him while he fell toward the back of the pack. However, she still had to exercise extreme caution as her stamina was so low. On the front, Falcon and Black Shadow were still at each other's throats, and while the Falcon was technically faster than the bull, its cornering and strength were still inferior. The Nemesis attempted to eliminate him by either sending him into a lava pool or falling off, but it managed to stay on track, just barely. The comet eventually caught up toward the free-for-all and wanted to distract the demon. Thankfully, the pit area was available, but the last stretch was just ahead. Since the comet was the lightest out of the bunch, she boosted and immediately got in front of the madman. He was furious that she was letting Captain Falcon steal the victory away from him, just as he did numerous times before. So, in a desperate attempt, he clipped her at the side, making Tinsel spin out. She lost control as she was spiraling a circumference per second, yet she was still ahead of him. Somehow she executed a spin attack while her machine was at its last legs, causing even the most destructive machine to crash. Tinsel couldn't see where she was going as she was yelling bloody murder, but she did, however, cross the finish line after Falcon did. He drove past the accident just before she hit the left side of the track. The unbeatable champion emerged in first once again. There was one of those miniature gold flying cameras that suddenly flew in front of the blue Falcon, recording its victory lap and crossed the finish line intact. It was so unbelievable that the gizmo wasn't destroyed by the Falcon's acceleration, though. Each life form went berserk as they saw their hero take yet another title. However, Yuki and Joey were startled as they leapt down from their seats and onto the track. They ran to the Silver Comet, wondering if Tinsel was all right. The machine looked wrecked, and she was moaning and holding her aching head. Tinsel! Are you okay? I think so. I think I won second again. Her head was swimming. The tall guy offered to lend her a hand. Then he hoisted her up and out of the total cockpit. The bounty hunter checked the damage. Is she all right? Yeah, Falcon. She's just a little banged up. She'll live. She gave a weak smile as Falcon nodded him his approval. Then he marched toward the winner's circle, to which they saw this.
Our champion, Captain Falcon! The F-Zero Committee will now present the champion's prize belt.
Before I continue, though, there is something else in mind. Something else actually happened. The trio grinned for his success as they congratulated themselves for a job well done. Both Falcon and Tinsel foiled Black Shadow's and Blood Falcon's plot. Now they wondered how they're going to retaliate. She then received the prize money of 200,000 space credits, all in cash. Suddenly the Millennium Puzzle ignited. Yami's voice boomed. Yugi immediately looked down. I sense a great evil presence here. He's very close. I believe he's even more powerful than Black Shadow. Stay alert! He observed a dazed demon that collapsed on all fours. But there's only him. No, Yugi. There is someone else most sinister. Look! Everyone, including the audience and the losers, saw a portal appear in a deep purple. There was a cyborg about 12 feet tall. He donned on violet and elaborate armor as well as a massive crimson cape. A large brain encased on top of a blanched metallic face shone. Meanwhile, Tinsel saw two despondent pilots. One was coyote-like, the other was the red octopus. Minutes prior to the race, she looked up each of the drivers and their corresponding machines. And the two in question, Leon and Octoman, caught her interest. She saw them crushed in defeat. Octaman was a cephalopod from Takora. His people were driven into war and poverty. His kind was also being harassed by the Galactic Federation in reasons she didn't quite understand. Using her prize money, half of her 200,000 space credits, she walked up to the deep claw. The driver looked up and saw her hand over the cash. But why? Just because I won second doesn't mean I shouldn't share my earnings with you. I've heard about your plight, Octaman. I looked into it before the race even started. I just want you to accept my offer to help you restore your world and your unique kind. Hard to believe that an animal's capable of racing, especially if one should have 2 legs and 6 arms. Incredible. After a brief moment, the troubled fish took the bait. He was almost tearing up as he hid his leaking, inky eyes with a tentacle. Thank you. I can't tell you how much this means to me. Soon she went toward Leon before a space angler. Hey! Oh, hi, son. Look, I gotta make this quick, but I want to make an offering to you. I've heard your homeworld is in great poverty right now. When Leon was still a pup, he lost his parents and became an orphan during some intergalactic war in Zao. It was rumored that the Arrow couple took him in for a while. The dog was determined to enter the X race, much like the aforementioned Octaman. He hopes to restore funding to his planet and help the kids in need. He was the head of an orphanage and a supporter to many youngsters. Alas, he wasn't successful. So instead, Tinsel offered her remaining share to him. Leon's face beamed with happiness. Tinsel, this really means a lot to me. I'd be more than happy to use this for the kids. That's all that matters. Thank you. He licked her face like any other tame canine. Then they both saw the chaos simultaneously. To which they saw this. Wait. Hold on a sec. Yeah.
What the?
Black Shadow, you failed again. You good for nothing.
Forgive me, Lord Death!
Just who are you?
I am Deathborn, the Grand Prix champion of the underworld. Why don't you and I race each other tomorrow? Surely, as champion, you have to accept.
Oh, man. That was surely intense, but I wish it wasn't so cheesy. Anyway. The champion of the underworld? This sounds even worse than Merrick from the Shadow Realm. I don't think Falcon would ever have a chance. She was in complete fear and doubt as she treaded back, her feet almost dragging the asphalt. She even wondered how would she get back to a hotel and settle for the night before they head back to Domino City. They were all so occupied that they hardly noticed Falcon. Tinsel! Duelists! Everyone turned their attention. I must defeat Deathborn tomorrow. There isn't much time to prepare for his challenge. I hardly know him. Except the Galaxy Police pieced together that he was the true culprit of the horrific accident. Three of them gasped and muttered to themselves. Does that mean you'll have to face him alone? Yes, I'm afraid so. Why don't you 3 stay at my stronghold in Port Town? I'll tow the Comet to the repair shop where Dr. Clash runs his business. You're more than welcome. You must stay there until I get back from this death race. In case Blood Falcon should take advantage of the situation. Blood Falcon? They had not an iota he could have his way against his original. Then again, it's possible since he was the one who defeated his master and forced him into oblivion. Even with the visor, they could tell Falcon was emanating some seriousness, as he made them promise to obey him, never question him later. Tense atmosphere managed to lighten a little as Falcon and the Duelists complimented Tinsel and how she was willing to share profits to help the less fortunate. She actually wished to see them again someday, so the next Grand Prix should begin. Frankly, from this point on, she'd welcome the event with open arms, reviving her career as an F-Zero racer. That night, Falcon led his followers inside the fortress Tinsel saw earlier. There was a door etched with a silver bird of prey on the titanium that was almost built like his own bomb shelter. Scanner read over the bounty hunter's face and allowed entry. Came across another door in which he entered a code on the control pad to the left. Finally, he urged the trio inside. The chamber with white walls was a bit blinding for their eyes. When they readjusted, they saw a room filled with a colossal motherboard, a ledge in the center that had a spaceship. It was covered in goldenrod, its wings were dirty green, nose was flat. Falcon described it as the Falcon flare, which was used in space via remote control to track down bounties across the universe. He also summarized his home as a safe haven from his enemies. He also rushes back after collecting his winnings. Voices ricocheted off the spacious area. Bounty hunters said there were also some islands he practiced on during his free time to keep him up to speed before the next race. He'd been doing this since the 7-year suspension began. Trio couldn't put their stunned expressions into words, nor could they think that Falcon was willing to show them his private turf personally. Nonetheless, they were all worried about Falcon's fate the next day. Everyone had a rough night's sleep. Captain, most of all, with his insomnia. They were all in a dark room that was enamored with heavy air pressure, and within comfortable, warm sleeping bags, the bodies were floating round in. Minds were all over the place, thinking that their newfound friend will be coming back alive. All those techniques were actually introduced in F-Zero X, and I never saw them till GX because they weren't in the original. I actually started with the original, then Maximum Velocity, and then GX. I never found out about snaking until Ephraim's LP, especially in Chapter 7. And of course, there's the rant. Yet again, Zoda had to be replaced, particularly by Tinsel for obvious reasons. He won't be incorporated into the stories until a year after GX when Rick wakes up from cold sleep. Just to keep things time relevant. Don't ask me how or why Joey's Wildcat is in the Grand Prix when it just got obliterated from the power plant and lightning. Having the original 30 racers isn't really a smart idea. Actually, it shouldn't be just one race. It should be like 5 races. Like Mario Kart or Top Gear. First Black Shadow and now Deathborn. How would Falcon overcome the new adversary? And before I go, I want to show you guys a little bit of something. Hold on. I want to show that rant I've been telling you guys about.
Come on. Yeah, there we go. With the 2 best racers out of the Grand Prix, it is going to be smooth sailing from here on out. I win! Oh, wait a minute. There's still 28 other racers. Oh, please let me catch up. Please let me catch up. No, I'm not gonna make it! Ah! Okay. You know what? That does it. That freaking does it. You know,
Hold on a second, guys.